What's going on, guys? It's Amy Nicholas. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to joining us, feel free to say hi in the comments and let me know how long have you been day trading for. This is month 4 for me, and I had just put out a video about doing an experiment of 20 individual trades that were as concise and consistent as possible by using the exact same stop loss on each one, and that I'm only buying one share, because this whole experiment is about practice and trying to tweak things and, see if, okay, maybe I use wider stops. Do I have a better chance, of winning? It seemed like with this crazy market that what I thought was working, what I thought was my strategy and my edge, wasn't working so well. And I would go back and look at some of the trades and realize I had just missed the mark by 10, 15, 20 cents on some of these stops, where if I had a bigger stop, it would have turned in my favor and I would have actually been profitable. So that's kind of one of the reasons I started this. I also wanted to just become more like robotic and just execute without thinking too hard, and just do this 20 trades in a row over a course of a couple days and just knock it out. Like, just see where I'm at, see what I can tweak after. I'm sure this is going to teach me something. And already with today, Wednesday, March 12th, this was my first day of doing this, and I can see some very clear perspectives on doing this. Number one, I felt immediately starting my day very little stress. Very little like, oh my gosh, is it gonna work? Am I gonna have a green trade? Am I gonna have red trade? There's always those like conflicting, emotional things going on in my head at the start of the trading day. And by telling myself I was only going to be working on this 20 trades experiment, I was only going to be buying one share, it really took the pressure off, really took the anxiety away from my trading, which was awesome. It actually felt fun today. And the last few days, a week or two, it's kind of felt a little bit more on the not so fun, more stress. And the whole reason I got into day trading was for fun. So we're back to the basics and I'm starting to feel better. And today was a really great progress day. It really taught me a lot. I did 5 trades. I went 4 for 5. 4 green trades, 1 red trade. And it was what I needed. It was a confidence booster. It was a, set it and forget it. I never deviated with my stop. Now, the one thing that did change though, in regards to what I explained in the 20 trades experiment video, was I was going to use a hard stop of 75 cents so that I could be consistent through each trade. Unfortunately, in Thinkorswim, you cannot set a dollar amount for a hard stop. It has to be at a price level. So I had to make a quick decision this morning before I started to just do trailing stops. It was the only way I could set a hard amount of 75 cents, because otherwise I thought if I'm going to get into a trade, I'm going to have to sit there and play with the numbers as they're moving and try to move it 75 cents. It's going to be too complicated. I'm going to, stress about it, whatever. So that's the change that I decided to make, because it was the only way I was going to be able to do the exact number. Okay, so trade number 1. I was watching pre-market and I saw Tesla was like really looking positive. Like the positive sentiment was there, which was great because I also am in a swing trade for Tesla. So this morning I was like, yeah, go green. So I said, you know what? I'd really like to jump in right at the bell. Just go long, just don't think it, just jump in. I had this gut feeling about it. So that's exactly what I did. As soon as the market opened, as soon as the bell, I didn't think about the price. I bought TSLR, jumped in at, where was I at? $14.25 price. And I put my trailing stop, of course, at 75 cents. Now, I will say this. I watched the price action on this one because I was really curious. It would have stopped me out had I had my regular stop loss amounts, which generally are between 30 and 40 cents. I would have been out for sure. You guys know the volatility at the open, like you could see spikes up here, you could see way big drops, it could be like this for a while. And actually that's what Tesla did. The first 3 minutes of the open, It was like that. And I was like, okay, I'm green, I'm red, I'm green, I'm red, and I just like was whatever, I don't care. Just let it play out. And for the first one, I did not have a take profit. I just put in a buy order and a trail stop order at the same time. And I said, I'm just gonna sell at the market when I feel like, this is good out. So I got up to 1461. I canceled my trail stop and I sold out. So that was a profit of 36 cents on the first first try at this 20 trades experiment. So we're green to start. And then number 2, I was looking for other stocks to play with today, and I saw Meta, and I was going to go long on it with FBL, which is an ETF that tracks for long Meta. But when I looked at the spread, the difference between the bid and the ask, it was like 10 cents. And this stock is only, this ETF is only, I want to say I didn't end up trading it for this reason. I want to say it's somewhere in the $40 range, 30, 40, something like that. But I decided because of the spread, I was like, no, this is too wide. This isn't normal. I'm not going to take it. And I'm glad I did, because as I watched, Meta actually started to turn. And all this sort of happened at the same time. All the tech stocks kind of had this moment this morning within the first 30 minutes of, we're going to look green and happy, and then we're going to turn around. And that's what it started to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to short it. So I did METD, which is the bear ETF on Meta. I got in at 1845. And that one, the price action was, I think it was like green right away. And I'm like, okay, I'm only green like 5 cents. I'm risking 75. I'm only up 5 cents. And it kind of hovered at the 1850 mark for a while. And I said, yeah, I'm just going to walk away. I'm going to leave it alone for a bit. And coming back, it seemed like it wanted to either go back up, Meta, or it was going to just stay in this range and not really do anything. So as soon as I saw it move a little bit in my favor more so, I was like, I'm going to just sell at the market. So I got out at 1857. So it was, 12-cent profit on that one share. But it just felt good, 2 green trades. I didn't get stopped. I had thought as I was in this trade too that, I had this huge wide stop on an $18 stock. A 75-cent stop loss is usually pretty dang wide. And I was like, I can't adjust this because this is part of the experiment. No matter what I trade, I'm doing a flat 75 cents to take away the emotion and trying to figure it out, trying to analyze. In the future, as I become a better trader, doing what I'm doing, I'm definitely going to be looking for areas of support in order of like, here should be a stop loss, like technical indicators. But right now, I just wanted to take away the emotions and reduce the share size down to the ridiculous of 1 so that I can execute with better, just clear thinking, like by not thinking so much. Okay, so trade number 3, TSOQ. I went short on Tesla. And this one, it was chopping around by this point. It was chopping, it was up and down, ranging a lot and not making as big of momentum moves. And even the bear bull traders that I watch sometimes live in the morning, they were like, yeah, a lot of these stocks these days, the first half hour used to be like volatile, lots of movement. Now it's taking longer, as I've said in my other videos. Now it's taking longer for momentum moves to happen because people are very tentative about getting in the market right now. It's like when they finally dip their toes in, they're not buying as much, right? They're holding back. So you're not getting these big swings. And the institutions, it's actually kind of been a little hard to read sometimes what they're even going to do when it used to be fairly predictable. Like every morning Tesla would dump at like, an hour after the open as the institutions unload the last, bit of shares they could with lots of liquidity. But at any rate, I got in at 55.80 and Tesla, like I said, it was ranging and I'm like, okay, just let it play out. And then, I saw it just start to go up, which meant my TSOQ trade was going down. And it stopped me out on that one, actually. So I was red on the third one for a loss of 65 cents. So not the full 75, but it did move that much. It did kick me out, at that 65-cent level. And, at this point I'm looking at, okay, I'm two for three. but I'm actually negative on the day because that one loss, the risk was so much greater than the other two gains, right? So I was up like 50 cents from 2 trades, and I'm down 65 cents from 1 trade. So what this taught me in the first 3 trades of this 20 trades experiment is that, I really have to go for higher reward if I'm going to risk with a higher stop. Like, duh, right? But obviously that's a lot easier said than done. There's those trades where you're like, yeah, I definitely see opportunity, but we're playing this with probabilities, right? Nobody can predict. We're just getting in thinking, okay, the signals are there. This can go a certain way. Doesn't mean it will, but you just have to kind of keep in mind, like, that you have to be patient. And I think I wrote this in my notes, kind of like in the middle of my trading. I said, if trading with such wide stops, I will need to be more patient and wait for bigger moves. So on the ones where I'm green, it's easy to be like, oh, I'm green, like I'm up, and maybe I'm up even like a 1-to-1. And you don't necessarily see that next move coming just yet. And you're like, well, maybe I should just get out, in case it turns against me. Those are the ones I'm going to have to be a little more patient with and let them play out, because otherwise I'm going to be losing more money than I'm making. Like, it's just how it is. And I said it takes too many winners to make up for one loss, because I'll explain too why I said that is actually after the next 2 trades. So number 4 trade, I tried to short Tesla again, and it was still ranging. It was still chopping. I got in at 55.69 and I got stopped out at 55.71. So I made 2 cents, and I was like, well, at least it wasn't negative, but yeah, that one didn't play out too great. So there we were with 3 greens, 1 red, and still not profitable, right? Number 5, shorted Tesla again. Now this one, I felt much more certain as I got in, and I think this is the one I actually added. It's not Tesla behind me. This is actually Meta, I think. Yeah. But I added the Bollinger Bands on my Robinhood legend chart here because I really like the graphics on Robinhood. I think the colors really pop, and it's really easy to read stuff. So I use this chart versus like dragging a Thinkorswim chart over here. I just like the prettiness. The problem is you can't draw any trend lines, and they're not going to automatically put any support and resistance lines for you. So I just decided to add the Bollingers, and it kind of showed me, okay, like this is where to get in, and this is where you might hit resistance. And so it was just helpful to have that there. So that's why when I got into the number 5 TSLQ for my 3rd attempt at shorting Tesla, I was like, I feel a lot more certain here. So this one, I got in at 56.99, and I wrote down that my target was 57.80 because I really wanted to be over at least what I was risking. I waited. I was like, oh, no, Tesla again seems like, I was in the green right away. It made some moves, got me, profitable, but then it kind of slowed down. And that's where you kind of are like, okay, if the momentum is seizing and you're just not close enough to your take profit ideal amount, probably things are going to reverse. And that's exactly what started happening. So I sold it to market, and actually this one I moved my limit sell. Actually, this particular trade, I did the 3-way order with buy, sell at my take profit, and sell with a trailing stop. So this one I just moved it manually and got out at 57.57 for a profit of 58 cents. So again, I'm risking 75, but the highest profit I could get, and this really was the highest one of the day, 58 cents on the share. So it's like, okay, we still gotta work on this edge a little bit. I mean, ideally, I think if I can get to 1.25, 1.5, like risk reward, that would be at least a step in the right direction. Right now, I'm not even a 1-to-1. So something's got to shift here. I just got to get, either a little bit more patient, wait for moves to play out. I don't really want to change the stop loss right now because it's actually like helping to have a bigger stop. Like you'll see in a minute. So okay, that was 5 trades. I did 5 trades today. I went 4 for 5, and I did actually end up profitable, 43 cents. Now, granted, it took those 4 trades to make up for the 1 red trade. because that was, and to make a profit, I should say. So to make me even and to make a profit, it took 4 to 1 for me to get there. I mean, I personally was really happy with just having a day where I felt like I was on my game. 4 out of 5 to me is like, okay, Amy, you're doing something right. And it was interesting because I'm watching the guys live on Bear Bull Traders, and a lot of them were losing on the day, taking big losses. Not that I'm like celebrating their misfortune or anything, but it made me think, okay, Amy, you can do this on your own. You don't always like have to listen to, what other people are doing. Even very successful traders are not going to be right all the time, right? So it made me feel good on what I was doing, that I was confident in my moves. And because I had taken out the fear of losing money by only trading 1 share or hesitating before getting in or any of that stuff, that wasn't there. If I saw the signal, I just hit buy, and I had my stuff set up properly and I wasn't rushing, but I was quick to take action. There's a difference, right, between rushing and being quick to take action. I think we confuse the two sometimes, but it's not always clear cut. And I think you have to just go back to how are you feeling in that moment. For me, I never felt like I was rushing. I always felt like if I was taking action, it was for a decisive reason, because I felt like there was a signal. Looking at my indicators and whatnot, like I said, adding the Bollinger Bands helped because I couldn't see visibly resistance and support lines. I'm sure I could switch to TradingView or something. It's just not interested in paying for any subscriptions. And I know if you don't, you got the ads and whatnot. So at any rate, that helped. Day 1, 20 trades experiment. I feel like it was just really like pat on the back for me for sticking to the plan, not getting greedy, not being like, oh, I'm on a green streak, I'm going to add 5 shares now. No. Stuck to the plan. 1 share per trade, 75-cent stop loss. That's it. And like I said, I would have liked to do the manual hard stop just to make it a little bit more consistent because of the movements of each stock could be different. But there just wasn't a way to do it where I could trade robotically. And that was the goal of this experiment, was to really take the emotions out of it and just learn to execute and do a series of trades where I can kind of take a step back and say, what worked, what didn't, how can I improve? The ultimate thing is just, wanting to become a profitable trader who's profitable consistently, making more than losing. And it's helped me also to just be okay with losing. I think this is an ongoing process, but I've also felt like I've made really great strides in the last few weeks of accepting losses. And just instead of thinking it as a negative thing, I'm like, no, this is part of the learning. It's also part of the ongoing system of trading. You will lose. I'm just going to say, you will probably lose more than you will win. And you got to just be okay with that. And I'm sure at some point, these really great super performers, they win maybe more than they lose, at least in terms of dollars, that's the goal. But I got to be okay with, I was okay with like losing 20 in a row because that's why I set my stop at 75 cents. I'm like, oh, that's $15. Okay. If I lose $15, fine. I was okay with losing 20 trades in a row. And look what happened today. I went 4 for 5, which I've never done, ever. Not in a single day, in a week maybe, but not in a single day. So it says to me that this experiment was exactly what I needed. It's going to help take away the overthinking, the hesitation, the fear of losing money, fear of missing out, all these things. It's going to help. So let me know in the comments, are you doing this kind of experiment as well? Did you watch the other video and, did you decide to do it to see where your own trading is at? Are you doing paper trading? Or are you doing live trading? Are you doing like me with 1 trade? Or are you just like, screw it, I'm just doing my usual size? Because I kind of think like the next time I do this experiment, because Mark Douglas says, do it as many times as you need to until you feel like you're executing without the hesitation, without the emotions involved, and without worrying about do or die on every trade. So I kind of was like, well, maybe I'll do another experiment later after I finish this one and do 20 trades and do 5 shares a piece. And then I was like, but mentally, my brain might think, well, now you're 5x, 1 to 5. That's a big jump, you know? So I was like, okay, maybe I just double it each time. They go from 1 to trading 2 shares at a time, then from 2 to 4, 4 to 8, you know, until I start to really dial it in. And I'm sure at some point the 20 trades turns into like, hey, I'm actually making some money and I'm actually making decent money. I think it's a matter of discipline, which is like, to me, the epitome of what trading means is mental discipline. You follow your discipline and you will ultimately get better down the line. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for you. Feel free to subscribe if you want to hang around, watch more day trading videos. I've got plenty of other videos. I'm putting them in a playlist now. Also, I've put together my day trading resources like books, videos, YouTubers that I watch that have helped me to get to this point. Not that I'm any kind of success yet, but I'm only in my month 4 here, okay? Just be patient with me. But if you're like really, really new and you don't even know where to start, feel free to check out that guide. It'll be listed in the descriptions. You just got to put your email and type 0 in the Gumroad box. I don't know why they put the price thing there. Just type 0 and you'll get it for free, and then you'll get access to the working Google Doc, which I'll continuously add to that document. In fact, I just added the link to the Mark Douglas video. That was the reason I started the 20 trades experiment. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.